On July 10th, 2016, horror auteur John Carpenter arrived at the Carnegie Music Hall of Homestead not to present a new film release or even screen a past classic, nor was he in town to deliver a lecture on horror or science fiction films. No, my friends, the malevolent movie master himself is currently on his first full music tour, purely a result of low or no budget filmmaking in the 1970s and 1980s. John Carpenter, through necessity, learned to score his own films. Over the decades, these soundtracks have proven most influential, even spawning an entire genre, synthwave, which draws inspiration from Carpenter's minimalist, synthesizer-heavy compositions. At or near capacity, the Carnegie Music Hall seemed an appropriate venue for such a musical event, the worn yet ornate decor lending an air of sophisticated decay to the proceedings. Mixing tracks from his 40-plus years of film work with newer compositions culled from his recent solo recordings, John Carpenter, backed by his son Cody Carpenter, godson Daniel Davies, as well as what the internet tells me are three members of Tenacious D's touring band, John Spiker, Scott Seaver, and John Koneski, succeeded evoking the feelings of fear, dread, triumph, and tragedy so prevalent in his movies. Using film footage to present his soundtrack work elicits a constant response from the crowd as favorite scenes and characters dance across the backing screen. For his more recent compositions, designs, patterns, and subtly shifting colors occupy the screen. Adrienne Barbeau making an on-screen appearance during the opening track, the main title theme from Escape from New York, brought a particularly noticeable pop from the audience, as did the fight scene from They Live several songs later. Drawing heavily from his first album, Lost Themes, tracks like Mystery, Fallen, Purgatory, and Wraith show how deep John Carpenter's imagination runs. Such music, even without a long association with film classics like The Fog or Assault on Precinct 13, hold their own among such deeply embedded gems as the Pork Chop Express from Big Trouble in Little China. Newer composition Vortex even evokes the mental image of Snake Plissken riding the desolate highways of a post-apocalyptic American wasteland. The inclusion of Desolation, the main theme from The Thing, composed by soundtrack heavyweight Ennio Morricone, was a nice addition from one of the rare instances where John Carpenter allowed another to score his work. From Lost Themes 2, his current release, the song Distant Dream, with its propulsive drumming and pulsing synth, imply a dream with ominous portents, finding a home near the end of the set, not as an encore, which shows how deep his repertoire runs. The main title theme from Halloween washes over the crowd, eliciting a rousing cheer and instilling a dread for all lumbering men in washed-out William Shatner masks. Even tracks from films such as Prince of Darkness, starring longtime John Carpenter co-conspirator the late great Donald Pleasance, and the underrated In the Mouth of Madness find a deserved home in the set. Closing the set with Christina Tack's Plymouth Fury from the classic Christine, John Carpenter and his band of musical mischief makers end the show with a driving, pun intended, track that leaves the crowd wanting more. An enviable response for Mr. Carpenter's first ever musical tour. With several bands currently touring the world under the umbrella of 70s soundtrack heavyweights Goblin, as well as an entire genre of music inspired by the spooky, sparse sounds of classic horror and science fiction films, the resurgence of synth and atmosphere-filled songs is a long overdue recognition of the weight and importance a theatrical score can carry. Throwing his hat into the ring, John Carpenter continues to inspire wonder, infer dread, and instill terror well into his semi-retirement. As the progenitor of the current synthwave scene, John Carpenter has only just begun to consciously influence a scene he unconsciously inspired, a night of classic film revelry and evocative music. Our maven of the macabre, John Carpenter provides a night of escape from the all-too-real troubles of our modern world. Recommended attendance for anyone who shares a love and respect for John Carpenter's vision and the sometimes horrific, sometimes mystical, always wondrous worlds his films and themes evoke.